away, burns the flicker as well to safety. Spirit Destruction.
Nom nom nom. Right down onto JH. And he's going to be focusing down everything. The Frigid Glacier unfortunately did not manage to connect, but we do know that the Hailstone Blast does do quite a bit of damage. You're going to have to look out for that. Diablo comes in between and managed to find the proxy, brings FMM down and pushes the rest of Asterisk away.
Yeah, Asterisk right now, the fight's getting destroyed. The Npfl is just sending 5B. It's a little bit confused. Not say confused, but surprised. For the side of Aurora, and there you go. That's going to be Marsha from the side of Diablo once again. Npfl going up against Asterisk is the same kind of composition. For the side of Npfl, Asterisk taking a little different this time around game number 2.
Npfl's lineup is largely similar, but they have a lot more disables that they can play around with. The big difference for the side of Asterisk is now that they do not have chip, and that's great for me, because like I said before, the moment that they take chip in, they lose all their macro. So with this said and done, I really do hope that Asterisk will be able to change things up.
Yeah, look, I am terrified if I was playing against Npfl's
I'm already terrified playing against Diablo, but like, yeah.
No, but against that lineup, it's just devastating, right? You can't take a step forward. Honestly, Asterisk, guys, what are the win cons for Asterisk right now?
Don't engage. It's literally just play split because they have a very mobile team, right? And not only just in the form of Luxia. You can't be aggressive against the lineup from the side of Npfl. This is basically, I max my defense because I'm too scared of getting hurt.
Wow, okay. That's a great anime, guys.
I'm so glad you caught the reference.
Great reference, man.
But of course, right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be jumping into game number 2, of course, between Asterisk versus Npfl. Throughout the start, let's just really get some housekeeping real quick, right? Because I really want to look out for lane priorities here. And understandably, Asterisk do have quite a bit of lane priority in the middle lane, to a certain extent top lane too.
Yeah, definitely. Masha should get pushed off, but Diablo is more of a late game assassin, right? Whereas the Bear needs to make something work, maybe cut the waves just a little bit with the roaming duo from the side Kiwi and JH to potentially do something all across the enemy jungle right now.
Yeah, we see the EXP lane is just exchanging blows, both of them being
the most boring lane
right now. What?
The most boring lane.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Come on, EXP lane is very interesting.
No,
look at Diablo.
EXP lane.
Diablo is interesting.
Biasness does not count. Moving on.
All right, moving on, right? So Chu and Vanix right here, if you talk about this lane, it's kind of equal, but as a Moskov, you can play more defensively, but it's all up to Chu to basically make it work, to basically snowball quicker as compared to Vanix, right? And now Asterisk, maybe they should play around the bottom side more to make sure Chu gets the snowball, because if you notice in the last game, Chu wasn't able to step forward, basically be a threat, and Asterisk literally fall because of that.
You also need to remember that the previous game Chu played the Bruno, and arguably Bruno does a little bit better to Moskov as compared to what a Roger is. So if the previous game Chu couldn't pop off, then this game the more Chu wouldn't pop off. So Asterisk is gonna have to change something a little bit here and there when it comes down to the macro game.
I mean, it's Lord Vanix that he's laning up against, right? He's an inevitable hero. He's basically one of the strongest goat laner right now in Npfl Singapore.
So much bias is coming out these days, but anyways, we go back into the game. Looking at the turtle fight, we see 4v4 right now.
Yep.
A lot of changes happening.
It doesn't seem like Hades have got any care in the world. It just casually just walked right into the members of Npfl and Hades. Oh wait, hold on a second. Doesn't seem like he will be able to stay alive, unfortunately. With the first person taken down, Asterisk didn't even lose a single person as of yet.
Great start from the side of Asterisk already. If you notice how Asterisk is just balancing out, they're just balancing on this tight rope, right? The Npfl pulled for Asterisk, and they're the one that got out with team fight and also a turtle.
Look, Lalzi survived a pixel of HP, right? So it could have very much been a 2-0. And luckily for him, manages to escape. Right now, after the turtle, Asterisk at a 1.3k gold lead.
Turtle priority goes over to Asterisk. They should have a better mid-game-ish for the side of Asterisk, but the late-game priority still falls onto Npfl because of the side laners, right? Marsha in the late game just finds you, punch 3 times and you're dead. And Vanix, of course, comes in for the cleanup from afar. I can split push. I mean, it's just what Npfl wants to do. They want to scale all the way to the late game. Asterisk looking for a massive spike in the mid-game. Same kind of concept in game number 1.
Yeah, I was just wondering whether they will be able to capitalize on the slight advantage they already have at this point. We see some pretty standard movements around the map. Next turtle spawning in about a minute's time. And we, as mentioned earlier, we do see Astros actually slowly grouping up in the bot lane, trying to give Chu some form of priority, some form of safety right now.
And Npfl is also reacting. They know the win condition for the side of Asterisk and they're looking to deny it. Those is stepping forward. The Concussive Blast doing a lot of work. Don't forget, the turtle is spawning in 40 seconds. There's no reason for both teams to be there. But like I said, it's just trying to support the goat laners right now.
See Chu picking up the corrosive scythe. That's the first completed item in about 4 minutes. It's a little bit, and it's on time. It's not too slow. But the question is, how many more items is he gonna pick up in the next 24 seconds?
Now, of course, seeing the corrosive scythe being picked up by Chu, I'm relatively happy, right? We're not looking at like the Wind Talker, the typical build coming in from Roger, especially since we are looking at Roger fighting against a Moskov. It's tough, and especially when it comes down to the mid stages of the game, you really need someone to actually deal with the barrage. Because when it comes down to Asterisk's lineup, they do have very short-range poke coming from the team. Kiwi, yeah, you will be able to zone people away, but one thing's for sure is that your team is the one that wants to initiate, while Npfl wants to disengage. They have a lot of disables and controls against Asterisk, so we need someone that is in the back lines that can really work things out. The moment Chu actually goes for his normal Lycan form kind of battle and Lycan form kind of itemization, that's pretty much it for Asterisk.
Yeah, and it makes Roger kind of flexible marksman, right? And that's the power of the Roger, and that's why he's being picked up as one of the favorite gold laners right now, right? You build a different item, his playstyle changes, and that's the beauty of Roger.
I saw JH picking up a brute force breastplate as his first item. That's not a normal item that you see on Boxia this early.
I mean, I can kind of understand where it's
Or
coming
Chase.
from. The 15% crowd control reduction is ultimately very important, especially since they're dealing with a Barrage, an Aurora, as well as a Minotaur.
And not only just that, it also lends to more chaseability, right? And also a bit of a tankiness built in, right? As long as you're landing those first skills, JH looking for the roll. We'll be able to find Hades though. Curtisi around there does have immortality. The stun doesn't go in. The ultimate.
Oh! The rest are coming in from Bear, just gonna be creeping down onto Hades, but Katizi knew exactly what he needed to do and completely froze everyone in place, literally and figuratively.
Let it go, literally, right? For the side of Curtisi, literally just letting down an IC pop, just denying Asterisk any form of advance.
But that was a really good, I think that was a really good choice from the side of JH. Asterisk making the moves this game. They are the ones that are putting pressure on Npfl right now, and we do see that reflected in go 1.4k gold lead at this point. A lot of skirmishes, a very, very scrappy game right now, actually.
Yeah, but don't forget, late game goes over the side of Npfl, right? Because as long as, you know, Npfl delays the game even more, Vanix is going to scale, and don't forget the Masha also scales. Taking a look at the emblems once again, it's going to be the mystery shot for the side of the Masha and also Assassin emblems. The Thrill to add on the damage, the Lethal Ignition to add on the damage, and now Vanix goes on to the Golden Staff. This is where Vanix really looks for a fight right now.
Yeah, Vanix is looking really, really good. Golden Staff on Moskov is very, very, very
Ooh,
scary.
FMM!
Oh, just go with the Circling Eagle, just connects onto Longsi as well as Vanix, but it's a quick disengage from them. They're not going to dabble in this any longer.
That guiding working was really sus coming up from FMM. That would have brought Chu all the way to the snapping jaws of Npfl. But now Npfl, we're just going to forgo the turtle. They're looking to scale all the way to late game because once Curtisi does have his items, he's going to just also out for the damage. This is the strongest point for side Asterisk, and Asterisk is not taking advantage of it.
Not taking advantage of it because Npfl is turtling, right? They are playing very, very well. They know what objectives they need to take. They know when to pick the battles. Npfl is just trying not to get picked off. Asterisk, the time frame is closing in, is drawing ever so short at this point. They are all grouping up at the bot lane right now. Let's see if Asterisk is going to be able to pick off anything from Npfl.
Now we have pretty much come into the mid stages of the game, and Asterisk, they have managed to get themselves one kill. Great, right? But we're talking about a Roger. And typically a Roger would require a lot more of a snowball in order to really pop off. But you don't require a snowball for a Roger to work. So that's the difference, right? At least when we are looking at the Holy Trinity that's being built up on the Roger, we can still definitely see the Roger try to do something against Hades, which could be one of the most important players and the most difficult player to deal with. Because Kiwi can at least still deal with Diablo to a certain extent, and we do have Bear that can jump onto Vanix. All of the main damage dealers would be dealt with, except for Hades. Except that he's not really a damage dealer, but his stomps are pretty painful.
Yeah, we're 9 minutes in. None of the first tier turrets are down yet. We're going to go in the long run, guys.
This is such
This is going to be going long game.
No, but you see, the longer the game goes, the better it is for Npfl, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We talked about that quite a bit. But if you're taking a look at the items, on the side of the gold laners, they both have 2 items completed. Both of them building up into that last part of the Holy Trinity. And it's very even across the board, man. It's 1k gold lead for Kiwi. That's what I see.
Something interesting from the side of Kiwi is that he doesn't really prioritize on the ice cream. Oh, finally! 9 minutes, 30 seconds. First turret down. Wow.
After a long time.
First turret down.
This game is actually really done slow. And coming in from Asterisk's side, they actually want to engage in battles a lot more. And just as I said it, they're just going to be jumping themselves right down to Hades, hoping that they will be able to bring him down with just a sliver of health. He is just going to be sleeping off the cracks of Asterisk, and that is such a big waste. Asterisk have wasted and used up so much resources just to try to bring Hades down. And now Kiwi finds himself in an unopportunistic moment and finds himself dead.
Yeah, Kiwi pathing the right there doesn't make sense. But you can start to see what Asterisk is doing, right? True is actually keeping Vanix in check. Denying Vanix from joining Teamfight actually allows Asterisk just output the damage against Npfl. Don't forget, Asterisk does have a lot more consistent damage as compared to Npfl, which is mostly burst and that small little window. And you can see in a long team fight, Asterisk should be able to win this, but hold on a second, GH.
In the middle and in the hearts of the enemies, he's just going to be nommed right down, and Hades also takes the Lord for himself. Chu did manage to bring Diablo down, while Bear on the other side brings Lawlessy down. So most of the main damage dealers coming from the side of Npfl is taken down, except for Vanix. They can definitely try to turn things around, but we're looking at 3 versus 5. And with a Lord coming in from Npfl, it makes no sense to continue.
Yep, Chu focusing on the turret right now before the Lord comes out. Npfl will lose that mid lane for now. But Npfl does have a Lord marching up against Asterisk soon. But it's still a baby Lord, so not too bad for Asterisk to handle.
Actually, I was going to say, so you know, the previous team fight, Kiwi actually played that very well at the start of the team fight, right? So Diablo tried to burst Kiwi down, but he was able to use his ultimate to get back away, back to full HP actually. So bit of a question for Diablo whether he's picking the right targets, but Kiwi playing that very well.
Probably one of the first main team fights that we have coming in between Asterisk versus Npfl. But we're just going to hold that thought for a tad a little bit because Npfl seems like they really want to engage themselves over here. Okay, no. So, my original concern, Hades. That was always the concern. Is there anyone that can really deal with Hades? Because right now, what we saw from Asterisk is that they did manage to deal with Diablo before. But for now, JH, the guiding wind, gets himself away pretty fine and dandy over here. But they still don't have an answer to this big dinosaur, man.
Yeah, I think the only answer for the big dinosaur is Chu, and that's why you go for the attack speed items. Don't forget, Chu in the human form does damage based on percentage HP, right? So that's basically a tank shredder. And once he's got Hades down low, he becomes more of an executioner. And now FMM, Vanix getting caught out of position just a little bit, dashes out of the way, burns the flicker as well to safety. Spirit destruction.
Nom nom nom. Right down onto JH. And he's going to be focusing down everything. The Frigid Glacier unfortunately did not manage to connect, but we do know that the Hailstone Blast does deal quite a bit of damage. You're going to have to work out for that. Diablo comes in between and managed to find the proxy, brings FMM down and pushes the rest of Asterisk away.
Yeah, Asterisk right now, the fight's getting destroyed. The Npfl is just sending 5B, just 5v4 is just very messy for the side of Asterisk. They're just out of position. They're trying to reinforce, but Npfl, this is just massive death ball stomping across Asterisk.
Look at Bear. Bear was just in the bush the entire time. He was not able to find an angle to just burst anyone down, and he's just it's basically 4v5 the entire game.
Unfortunately true, yeah, because we haven't really quite seen a lot of sacrificial play coming from Bear, despite Bear actually being the pos 4 position. We gotta have to see a little bit more presence from Bear, be it trying to distract the opponent's attack a little bit, or actually jumping over the back lines to deal with someone. In fact, when it comes down to Katizi, his Pride of Ice actually has been online for the longest time ever, and I haven't really quite seen it popped before.
He hasn't died. Not even theoretically, he hasn't died.
Yeah.
You know, Cortese's positioning has been immaculate so far. You know, Aurora does not have a lot of movement at all. She's just walking all the time, right?
Yep.
So, honestly, immaculate plays from Cortese. Positioning is absolutely key when you're picking up this hero.
Yeah, so Lozi is actually taking, big damage.
The big book comes on with the Detonus Welcome that lands onto JH and following up with Lonzy with the Minoan's Fury that lands onto 3. He's just going to be holding on to the fort for a long period of time. And while all of that is happening, Hades focuses on the Lord, brings it down, and hoping that they will be able to bring more people down. But with a quick little Purify from Kiwi, very fast fingers. Otherwise, that could actually be his own demise.
Yeah, nice. Lozi is actually the MVP right here, man. NIP Flash. Lozi is just denying everything that Asterisk wants to do, right? As a Minoan Fury, you can see the main 3 damage dealers constantly getting knocked up, and all of a sudden Asterisk cannot play the fight. And then after that, the Lord gets taken down, whereas Bear is just trying to split push on the other side, and now NIP Flash just knocking on Asterisk doors once again.
It's too little, too late, or rather, they did too little in the early game. Right now, NIP Flash, it's the late game. It is their game. 2.4k gold lead ahead at this point in time. The timeline, the lifeline for Asterisk is looking really, really low at this point. A miracle needs to happen at this for Asterisk to take this game.
Yeah, I think a double miracle is required right now because the Lord's already clashing in on the top side. Hades just... You know, it's a 2-prong attack for the side of NIP Flash against Asterisk. Bottom lane is also taken down. 4-1 composition coming up on NIP Flash. They're pushing Asterisk base.
It's really difficult for Asterisk to do anything right now. The main damage dealer being Chu, as the Roger has already lost half of his identity. The Lycanthrope is no longer a Lycan, it's just a full-blown human. But in the meantime, Vanix just going to be focusing on the turret and bring down almost immediately JH in the heart of all the battle, hoping that he'll be able to run away, but the Guiding Wind sends him off. Kiwi being left behind as Vanix just blinks himself in front to take him down almost immediately. With 2% down from the side of Asterisk, Vanix wants to press the issue a little bit more with a quick little hit coming from Katizi. I believe that was the Frigid Glacier that eventually brings him down. But now JH hoping that he can taunt everyone, but wasn't able to do so. As such, we have Asterisk unfortunately suffering to defeat an NIP Flash very successfully, gaining 2 wins.
All right, another day in the office with the side of NIP Flash, but kudos over the side of Asterisk for trying right there. But I would say NIP Flash, MVP goes to Lozi, man. The amount of Minotaur, he's just making sure